Hello, Bongo here. I'd like to put out something that I've been thinking about recently, listening to quite a few debates and listening to the speeches at the National Animal Rights March 2024 in London. And this is about when people say to vegans, well, hypothetically, if you had a burning building and there was a human in there and a non-human animal, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Let's say it's one that is generally considered by non-vegans to be pets or a companion animal. Which would you rescue? Now, of course, they're trying to do the gotcha question, isn't it? For you to sort of go, human. And they go, you see, you're not a vegan. Now, the first thing with these people is they need to understand the definition of veganism, and we all do our best in a non-vegan world, non-vegan capitalist world. But here's the other thing, though, and let's be honest about this, and we vegans are humans. That's our species. It is natural and is for every other species. And in fact, it would be speciesist to suggest that we're any different in this way, that we will have a disposition to protect our own species, okay? So that's what we have. We protect our own species. We protect especially our family, because we have a need for belonging, which is shelter and protection. So that's why we have a need for friends, and we keep close to people, because it is in our makeup to seek that protection to survive. And so we know that. So there's the basics there, and it's an evolutionary basic, if you like, across all the species. So if you answered in that hypothetical, well, I would rescue the human, it's not the gotcha that some people think it is it? Because you would say, well, that is the laws of evolution require that of me. It would be possibly obscene if I didn't do that in scientific terms, scientific obscenity to do otherwise. Now, of course, we might, if we were able to think quick enough in that emergency situation, we'd want to rescue as many beings as we could. So what vegans we say, is that we realise there are differences between the species, but what we want to see is the rights of all those different species being considered and respected in such a way that those different species are not slaughtered, abused, exploited unnecessarily. It doesn't mean that in a life and death situation we would say, the human can burn, or I don't know, I'd stand there rolling some dice because I don't know whether to save the mouse or the human. Because why say a dog? What's the difference morally between saving the dog and a mouse? There's no difference whatsoever. So, should I save the snail or the human? Should I save the snail or the human? It would be absolutely unnatural and against human or animal instinct not to save the human. So this is something that sometimes I've seen in debates where the vegan might stammer and wonder what to say, thinking, they're trying to get me here. I need to say something else. And sometimes they might come back with an equally hypothetical statement like, well, we should get rid of all humans because we are killing the earth and everything on it, which that's a totally different subject. I wouldn't disagree with that. I can't think of any positive benefit the humans have had on this earth. And probably for the rest of the earth and the rest of the species on it, it's as soon as we get off it, they can carry on and do their thing. But it is a different subject. We're talking about this one hypothetical. Now, not all hypotheticals are fair, but this one I think is, and it's perfectly reasonable to say that you would save a human. It's a perfectly vegan standpoint. It's a perfectly intersectional standpoint of compassion, and perfectly natural as well. Ideally, you would save them all. So what do you especially vegans on here, think about that. I'm more than happy to debate, and as always, more than happy to hear a different opinion. I've been swayed on many occasions by vegans and vegan activists who have a different opinion. I love it. That's part of my evolution, isn't it? But I think it's perfectly reasonable. And we don't need to feel, if you're in a debate, you don't need to feel caught out by that. You can be honest. It's okay. It's natural. It's what you should do. You might even say, and again, it's a human phrase, you might be psychopathic if you thought otherwise. So anyway, thought I'd put that out there.